Hi, I'm professional guitarist and music educator Korey Hicks. In today's video, we're going to discuss Mixolydian and its application, the primary mode that we're going to be using for plain dominant 7th chords. And I'm not talking about dominant 7th flat 9 or dominant 7th flat 9 flat 13 or an altered chord. Those are going to use the half whole diminished scale, the altered scale, Phrygian dominant, stuff like that. You don't need to worry about that in today's video. We're talking about a basic dominant 7th chord, the appropriate chord scale, which is Mixolydian. So if you've ever wondered how to play this, how it relates to the major scale, all the 7th chords, their tensions, the arpeggios, the triads, the pentatonics that go along with this, and how to practice all this effectively so that you can use this on your next playing session, this is the video for you. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. And if you go to the description below, you're going to find the PDF for this lesson over on my Patreon. Let's get started with this wonderful sound that I think is absolutely essential for your musician's toolkit. Alright everyone, so we're going to start off with some background on music theory, and if you're interested in taking the music theory course, you can reach out to us over on Patreon. The first course goes all the way from beginner, not even knowing what the staff is, all the way through diatonic modal theory, and the second course is going to go all the way through reharmonization and modes of melodic minor, harmonic minor, advanced jazz, composition, and improvisation. So you can kind of find your place in there. But for today, we're talking about Mixolydian. From left to right, you're going to notice all of our major keys. So on the top, we have C major, your familiar C, D, F, G, A, B. Each one of these tones has a chord built off of it. You can see that at the bottom down here. So we have a major 7th chord, which is built off the first tone of any key, 2 minor 7, so it's a minor 7 built off the second tone of any key. The third tone has a minor 7th. The fourth tone has a major 7th. The fifth tone is our dominant 7th. That's the one we're talking about today. The sixth one is going to be a minor 7th, and the 7th one is going to be a minor 7 flat 5, also known as half diminished. So if you know your major scales, and this is something that I ask all my students to do, is to be able to recite all of your major scales cycle 4. So imagine reciting all this in 90 seconds. So C major, C, D, F, G, A, B, F major, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, B flat major, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. So going through all 12 of those. All right. Today we're talking about Mixolydian. So for example, in the key of C major, if I wanted D Dorian, all I have to do is use the tones of C major, C, D, F, G, A, B. Any single structure on the guitar that has those tones. So that's any chord, any scale, any position, any arpeggio, any triad, any hexatonic, any pentatonic on the guitar that is those 7 tones will get you D Dorian if, and this is what is most important, the D minor chord is being played. Obviously, if you're playing a C major chord and I play a C note, it's going to be the tonic of that chord. But if you're playing a D minor chord and I play a C tone, that's going to be the flatted 7th of that chord. That's what modes are. Modes are often taught incorrectly. A mode is not a pattern on the guitar necessarily. We're going to show you that in just a moment, but I need you to understand this background. You can't jump into Mixolydian or any other mode if you don't know your basic major scales. So if you know a major scale, you know all of your Lydians, all your Mixolydians, all your Dorians, all your Aeolians, all your Locrians. You know all of that, and you have the ability to play that. In our case today, we're talking about Mixolydian, which is the 5 chord. So something to understand about dominant 7th chords, if you have a chord that is something 7, I don't mean minor 7, I don't mean major 7, I mean 7. G7, C7, F7, B flat 7, you're in Mixolydian. So you are at the 5th scale degree of the parent key. So all you need to know is what home is. So if someone plays a G7 chord, what scale are you supposed to play to get G Mixolydian? C major. If someone plays a C7 chord, what key do you have to play to get C Mixolydian? F major. All right, so this is the background behind blues. You can't just play a minor pentatonic over a blues. If you're playing a blues in the key of C, which is C7, F7, and G7, you need C7, which is an F major scale to get you C Mixolydian. You need an F7, which is F Mixolydian, which is a B flat major scale on the 4 chord. And then the 5 chord, which is G7, you need a C major scale. So G7, G Mixolydian, C major. Okay? Very important to understand this. So you can also figure out any other mode from this chart. So if I want G sharp Aeolian, all I have to do is find G sharp right there, go all the way to the left, play a B major scale. You do not have to play from the tone G sharp. You can play any note you want in this line and it will give you that mode. Very important to understand that. In today's example, we're going to be playing B flat Mixolydian. Okay, so that was the example that I just performed, and we're going to be going to the key of E flat for that. So all I have to do if I want to play B flat Mixolydian is go to B flat here in the orange column. So those are all dominant 7th Mixolydian chords. Go all the way to the left, and I have an E flat major scale. You probably already know that that's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That's on top. So I go to E flat, it's a whole step to F, it's a whole step to G, it's a half step to A flat, it's a whole step to B flat, whole step to C, whole step to D, and a half step back to E flat. Now the mode itself, theoretically, starts on B flat, so you could say that the B flat Mixolydian scale is B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat. So I'm just starting here in the middle and going around, kind of like, I don't know, an escalator or something like that. Okay? So the chord tones of B flat are every other note in that row. So you play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note. So B flat, I'm going to skip C, and I'm going to play a D. That's the major 3rd of B flat 7. I'm going to skip E flat, play F. That's the perfect 5th of B flat dominant 7th. Then I'm going to skip G and play A flat. That is the flatted 7th of B flat. Why isn't it the major 7th of B flat? Well, because in the key of B flat, the 7th is A natural. So that would be an B flat major 7th chord. Still with me? Hopefully this makes sense. So we're going to move on over to our Guitar Pro, and I'm going to show you how to look at this on the guitar. Now the majority of this lesson is going to be playing in examples on the guitar, but this part is kind of important to start off with. So here I have my staff and my tablature here. I'm going to go here and I'm going to give us the key signature of E flat major. And that's going to give us all the appropriate tones of B flat Mixolydian according to the chart that we just saw. Now, in my Guitar in a Year course, which is available on YouTube and on Patreon, we, by the end of the year, will go through all 84 positions of every single major scale. So every single tone in a major scale, there's 7 notes, has a pattern. So in C major, pattern 1 is built off of C, pattern 2 is built off of D, pattern 3 is built off of E, pattern 4 is built off of F, G, and A and B, so on and so forth. So in this program, if you've never used this software before, it's pretty cool for diagramming stuff. I'm going to go to our fretboard diagram here, and I'm going to give us 22 frets. I'm going to put my inlays on, and I'm going to find E flat. Okay, we only have one E flat on the low E string because our guitar supposedly would be tuned to standard pitch. All right, so pattern 1 looks like this. And this would be performing a E flat major scale starting on the note E flat. So if we know our pitches, and I'll write them here for you, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D. So those are the notes of the E flat major scale. Those are also the notes of the F Dorian scale, the G Phrygian scale, the A flat Lydian scale, the B flat Mixolydian scale, the C Aeolian scale, and the D Locrian scale. all the same notes. How can it be a different mode then? Because of the chord. If I play a E major or an E flat major scale with an E flat major chord playing, they're all going to resonate with that chord as E flat major. But if that chord is different, if I play an F minor chord, then E flat is the flatted seventh, F is the root, G is the 2, A flat is the third. And so changing the chord changes the sound. Just think about this. Just play a simple C chord on your guitar and play the note F. It sounds terrible. But F major is the fourth chord in the key of C. Play that chord and play an F note. Now F sounds like home. That same relationship thing is what is going into making all these modes happen. Okay, so first of all, and I'll perform all these for you very soon, I have E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, and G, an E flat major scale. Okay, so this is starting at the first scale degree. Okay, now if I take those away and I start on F, which is the second scale degree of my key, I am going to play pattern 2 of the key of E flat major. Now, some teachers will show this to you as F Dorian, but remember what I just said. As long as you're playing these notes, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D, you're playing an E flat major scale. If F minor is being played, now you're playing F Dorian. It doesn't matter if I play those, if I put F to start it or whatever, it is going to be F Dorian, E flat major, B flat Mixolydian, synonyms of each other. Okay, so these are all the same tones, but starting on F. F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. Then we have D, E flat, F, G, A flat. Still with me? Now we're going to go to our, now we could have put this down here and played our pattern 2 of the E flat major scale down here. Okay? If you can't diagram it, you don't know it. In a lot of my theory classes, I will actually have my guitar students write things out as a diagram. And this is a wonderful thing for you to do if you maybe don't have access to a guitar to practice today or something like that. Okay, the third note of an E flat major scale is going to be G. So I'm playing E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D. So that is the third note. The pattern that is going to give me all the tones of E flat major in this location looks like this. So I have G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. So this is a E flat major scale at the 3rd fret. This is a F Dorian scale at the 3rd fret. This is a B flat Mixolydian scale at the 3rd fret. And hopefully you are starting to understand how, unless you know your scales, unless you can recite your scales, you're going to be lost with all this. You're going to be just kind of picking around with your ear. You're going to be trying to make it up as you go along, hoping for the best. Remember, when we're improvising, you don't want to be a reactionary improviser, meaning you don't want to, I hope this sounds good, and play something. You want to know it sounds good beforehand. Okay, so here's A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. Then we have C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. So this is an E flat major scale or B flat Mixolydian from the note A flat. Got a couple more to go here. I'm going to start on B flat, C, D, and then we have E flat, F, G, and then we're going to have A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D. Okay, so this is going to be our E flat major scale starting on B flat, or pattern 5 of the E flat major scale. Starting on B flat, so this is what a lot of you probably learned as B flat Mixolydian, the pattern. And yes, it starts on B flat and it gives you those notes, but remember, all the other notes that we just showed you are still B flat Mixolydian because they're still E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D. If it makes you feel better to start talking about this from B flat, I could just say B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat. It's the same notes though. You can kind of look at it as a big hamster wheel or something. It doesn't matter where you start, it's alphabet soup. Okay? Not every word in the English language is going to be spelled A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In fact, there's no word spelled like that. Same thing goes for a mode. A lot of times if you're improvising, you're going to say, it just sounds like a scale when I play. Well, are you just playing a scale? Are you just playing the same scale up and down? Okay. Now we're going to start on the note C, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. So this is an E flat major scale, an F Dorian scale, a C Aeolian scale, a B flat Mixolydian scale from the note C. All right, we have one more to go here. We're going to start on D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. Then we have C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. All right, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in all the other patterns that we did. So this is going to be our whole neck. So all I'm doing is going to be playing, putting all these pitches together that we just did. And you'll notice how they all connect. Do you see this? This is how all of these things work together. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is how the neck looks for me when I'm improvising in B flat Mixolydian. Okay, so I can start at F and play pattern 2, or I can start at G here and play pattern 3, or I can start at A flat and play pattern 4, or I can start at B flat playing pattern 5, start at C playing pattern 6, start at D playing pattern 7, start at E flat playing pattern 1. You get the idea. So this is B flat Mixolydian. This is C Aeolian. This is F Dorian. This is E flat Ionian. The exact same notes. Now, what's different is our primary pitches. Okay, so here we have a B flat. Okay, so that, then we have F, G, A flat. Here is a B flat. So this is why it's important to know the notes on the neck. And I can use my little W pattern that for a lot of you, if you're in the Guitar in a Year course, you will understand what I'm talking about here. This little W pattern to locate all of my B flats. These are my homes. So when I'm soloing over this particular chord progression, the B flat Mixolydian, all of these are B flats. Okay, and we could grab one up here if we want as well. All right, next, my money note is the note D. D is the major third, I'll make it green, D is the major third of B flat Mixolydian. So even though this is just an E flat major scale, I'm highlighting and thinking of and playing as my primary melodic generator this note D natural. Okay, so wherever I have the note D natural, that is my major third. Okay, so I could go up here to this. This is my B flat on the B string. This is a common B.B. King lick. And I'm going to make a little arrow for that note. And I'm going to give it like an orange color. So that's going to be bent up to the note D, which is the money tone. So I'm playing B flat with my first finger. Then I'll use my ring finger to bend up the note C, going up to D. And then, maybe I'll play that F, which is the perfect fifth. Hopefully this makes sense. So this is B flat mixo, this is E flat Ionian, and every other mode in that key. So this is why you need to know your scales. This is why it makes absolutely no sense when you hear YouTube guitar teachers say you don't need to know your scales, you don't need to know your notes, you don't need to know your intervals. That's ridiculous. Unless you have perfect pitch, or your relative pitch is at a very high theoretical level, you're always going to be guessing. Okay? Now, inside of this, and this is where we're going to go today with the lesson, inside of this is going to be every single structure of the E flat major scale which you can use. You can use all the notes of E flat major, all the triads of E flat major as melodic generators, all the arpeggios of E flat major, all of the pentatonics of E flat major pentatonic, B flat major pentatonic, A flat major pentatonic, and all 5 positions of each. That's 15 pentatonics. You can use anything you want from this key. all the seventh chords, all the drop twos, all the drop threes, everything that has to do with this key center is free game over B-flat Mixolydian, as long as you phrase it appropriately. Meaning, as long as you, as the soloist, knows that E-flat doesn't sound like home, B-flat does. D is the most important note. If I want a flatted seventh, then I'm going to go to A-flat. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's return to the guitar. We're going to start off with a B-flat dominant seventh chord. I'm starting off with a voicing you're probably already aware of. This is a bar chord on the 6th fret. And we're going to show you a few other ones as well. The tones are B-flat, D, F, and A-flat. B-flat, the 2 is C. D natural is our major third. E-flat's the 4th. Then F is my perfect 5th. That makes a B-flat major triad. We have those all over the guitar neck. And then we have A-flat. That's the flatted 7th, because in a B-flat major scale, A natural is our major 7th. We're flatting that. The key of B-flat major has 2 flats. The key of E-flat major, the parent key for this mode, is 3 flats. This particular bar chord is 1, 5, flat 7, 3, 5, 1. We have other chords as well of the B-flat dominant 7th, so I can play those as drop 2s. I can play some drop 3s. And I'll put a couple of those voicings in the tablature and the transcription, which is a PDF that's going to be available over on Patreon, so go and grab that. Okay, so each one of these chords is a B-flat dominant 7th, each and every one of those. I'm going to put on a pad, which is going to basically keep a B-flat dominant 7th chord playing for an extended period of time so that we can talk about the scales. So I'm going to put that on right now. And we're going to start off with pattern 1 of E-flat major. Remember, that's our parent key. So we're starting off on the E-flat up here at the 11th fret. Now notice that tone doesn't sound that great. That's because it's the 4th of B-flat Mixolydian. It is in the key though. So this pattern, pattern 1 of E-flat major, starts at the 11th fret. Pattern 2 of E-flat major is going to start here on F. Pattern 3 is going to start on G. Pattern 4 is going to start on A-flat. Pattern 5, B-flat Mixolydian itself, starts on B-flat. Pattern 6 is starting on C. And pattern 7 starts on D. So with each one of those, what I'm going to try and do is play them up and down twice in 8th notes, up and down twice in triplets, and up and down twice in 16th notes. And I can do this at a relatively conservative tempo. Let's do 70 beats per minute. Triplets. Sixteenths. I'm going to move on to pattern 2, starting on F.
Triplets. Sixteenths. Pattern 3, that's starting on G. Start off with eighths. Triplets. Sixteenths. Pattern 4, starting on A flat, eighth notes. Triplets. Sixteenths. Starting on B flat, eighth notes. Triplets. Sixteenths. Starting on C. Triplets. Sixteenths. Last pattern starts on D. Triplets. Sixteenths. Next, we can do things with a scale like play them in thirds. So thirds are going to be every other note. You might want to start incorporating things like a sixth. You've heard that sound before. So it's just the interval of a sixth. So I'm going from, in this case, a D note up to the B flat, E flat, up to C. There's my F all the way up to my D, G to E flat, and then I have my A flat up to my F. And so we have different sixths that we can play. A lot of people kind of think of this as just your bar chord, and then, you know, like I have B flat major, A flat major, G minor, F minor, that type of thing. So sixths can be something that you can play to get a different type of sound. The idea is all these different structures. So can I do things like one note at a time? Can I find all my B flats? Right? Can I play all my major thirds of my B flat dominant seventh chord? Which would be all the D notes. Can I find those things as one note at a time? You can even do something like play octaves or unisons, that type of thing. Two notes at a time is going to be our intervals. Can I play, what does a B to a C sound like? What does a B to a D sound like? So that would be like our thirds that we were just talking about. What does a B flat to an E flat sound like? That would be like a perfect fourth. Or maybe B flat to an F, which would be like a perfect fifth. All these things are inside of the scale. So that's two notes at a time. Three notes at a time would be our triads. So all of our diatonic triads are going to work for this. So E flat major, F minor, then I have my G minor, A flat major, B flat major, C minor, and then I have my D diminished. So if I put this pad back on, you're going to hear that each one of these triads works over this chord. Remember, this chord is not an E flat major. This chord is a B flat dominant seventh. So I can use any triad from the key. E flat major here, E flat major here, E flat major here, E flat major here, any E flat major. And then I can move on to the second chord, which would be F minor. And then I have my G minors. I have A flat majors. I have my B flat majors. I have my C minors. Hopefully you get the idea here, because all of these tones are B flat Mixolydian because they are the notes of that scale, the parent scale. I'm not playing anything that's not in the scale of B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. So I can take a couple triad pairs if I like. So for example, all I'm doing is playing an A flat triad to a B flat triad. Notice though that I'm not going strumming them. We don't want to do that because we're not using this as a chord like comping. We're using this as a melodic fragment. So each one of our patterns of the major scale is going to incorporate these triads. So the lowest pattern I had was what? Pattern 2. So what are the triads inside of that? Well, D diminished and E flat major. What are the triads inside of pattern 3? E flat major and my F minor. And this goes on throughout the entire series. Now I can also use different inversions of these triads. So E flat major, just kind of like the top of that bar chord, F minor, G minor, A flat major, B flat major, C minor, D diminished, back to E flat. I can also do this on every single string set. So I have B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat. I have an E flat, E flat, E flat, E flat. Or if I have F minor, here's an F minor, F minor, F minor. So I'm putting all of those triads together so that I can play things from the key. So the B flat dominant 7th chord is going on right now. I could do something where I play A flat, you can start seeing where some melodies can come from these types of structures. So you're not just thinking of scales, you're thinking of the mode in its entirety. Not just the mode as notes of a scale, but the triads. We talked about intervals, right? These are all things that are from that key. So we talked about one note at a time, unisons, octaves, note recognition, finding the third. Right? We talked about 2 notes at a time, things like dyads or intervals, 6ths, the thirds, that type of thing. We also talked about 3 notes at a time, which is the triad. Let's move on to 4-note structures. We're going to use our 7th chords. If you're familiar with diatonic harmony, you'll know that in the key of E flat major, we have E flat major 7, F minor 7, G minor 7, A flat major 7. We have our B flat dominant 7th, the Mixolydian chord, C minor 7, and then a D half diminished. So I can play an arpeggio off of every single one of these tones against B flat 7. Check it out. This is E flat major 7. Now I can move on to F minor 7. G minor 7. Here's my A flat major 7. I'll come down here for B flat dominant 7. Then we have C minor 7. And finally, D half diminished. So over this pad, I can pick a couple of those and kind of come up with a lick. So what if I went up that D minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio I just played and then down a C minor 7 like this? So I can use things from the key. I just went down a G minor arpeggio and an F minor 7 arpeggio. There's a C minor 7 arpeggio. So I can combine these things to come up with different phrases over this chord. So what if I went to the C minor 7 arpeggio? I could come up with a line. So I'm using arpeggios from the key to play over this chord. Remember, all of these tones are going to work because they are, in fact, the mode. So let's move on to 5-note structures over B flat Mixolydian. This is going to be our 5-note scale, the pentatonic. Now, the B flat major pentatonic is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 of a B flat scale. So this is going to give us the notes B flat, C, D, F, and G. Now, a lot of students don't want to use the major pentatonic because they don't think it gives them the mode. It absolutely does. Remember, the only note of any importance that we're forgetting here is A flat, and you can incorporate that into your pentatonic. So the pentatonic is going to give you a lot of really cool sounds over B flat. All of those are pentatonic style lines. So here's the phrase that I want you to practice. It goes like this: 5, 6, 1, 2, slide to 3. If you can play that pentatonic line, you can play the B flat major scale over the entire neck. Let's try it out. So I'm playing 5, 6, 1, 2, slide to 3. 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 We can play this all over the neck, like this. So really, you're just looking for that B flat note and coming from below. And then you can connect these things to come up with more important lines, like this. Now the only note of the pentatonic that we're missing is A flat, so you can put that in. So for example, I could go, and now you have that flatted seventh. So we talked about one note at a time, two notes at a time, which is intervals, three notes at a time, which is all those diatonic triads, four notes at a time, which is all those diatonic seventh chord arpeggios, five notes at a time, which is all of those diatonic pentatonics. You can use any of the pentatonics from the key of E flat to play over B flat Mixolydian. E flat major pentatonic is C minor pentatonic. You can use that. You can play an A flat major pentatonic, which is F minor pentatonic. And of course, that B flat major pentatonic we were just discussing. I would encourage you to get as comfortable with those as possible. And don't forget, pentatonics is not some sort of beginner thing. Every single guitar player uses them. And in fact, I have a jazz manual, this big jazz theory book. It's spiral bound. It's about 500 pages. You don't start seeing pentatonics introduced until over page 400. Because to most people, pentatonics is actually a difficult thing to learn. Think about this. On the piano, all your white notes are C major. Now, if I told you you had to omit the B note and omit the F note, it'd be a little bit harder because now you have kind of like Floor's Lava type of thing where you have to choose not to hit certain things, right? So it is kind of challenging. The only reason it's easy for us, our guitar is tuned to an E minor pentatonic. It's one of the first things we learn, so we get really comfortable with that. All right, so hopefully you've seen at this point all of the different structures that we can use over a B flat Mixolydian. As a side note, if you're a blues player, imagine playing this whole thing in B flat Mixolydian on the 1 chord, and then moving it to E flat Mixolydian for the 4 chord, and moving it to F Mixolydian for the 5 chord. So now you have to know 3 keys really intimately to be able to play in this type of modal way over a blues. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I love helping people understand this. Light bulb moments are something I live for with my students. And if this has been helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Go on over to Patreon for that PDF so that you can see this stuff written out. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks again for being here. Have a great day. Peace.